protected by solid borders and brave troops under a proud flag. Canada, let's bring it home.
Mr. Poilievre, what economic and diplomatic experience do you have to go up against Donald Trump?
Oh, quite a lot, actually. So I was the Minister of Jobs and Housing in the Harper government, during which time housing cost half as much as it does today. I helped Mr. Harper cut the GST, cut income tax, cut business tax, and balance the budget. Over my time in Parliament, I've been scrutinizing and studying the books on the Public Accounts Committee, the Operations Committee, the Finance Committee. And if you want any proof that my economic ideas are the best, the Liberals are all trying to pretend that they're copying them right before the election. All the big economic questions of the last 5 years, Mark Carney has been wrong and exactly wrong, and I have been right. I said 5 years ago the money printing would cause inflation. He said deflation was on the horizon. I turned out to be right. I said the carbon tax would drive up food prices, and it did. Drove them up 37% faster in Canada than in the United States of America. I was the first parliamentarian to predict that we would have the inflation crisis, while Carney, Freeland, Trudeau, and others were saying that we would not. I was the first one to be, along with my Conservative colleagues, fighting for pipelines. Pipelines now everyone claims that they support after opposing them for the last 10 years. So if Mr. Carney is so smart on economics, how is it that he was so wrong for so long on all of the economic issues? One thing I don't have experience with is taking jobs out of Canada, moving them to the United States, selling out our resource workers to support Middle Eastern resource workers. That's not the kind of experience that I have, but that's not the kind of experience that we want.
Despite what you're saying, recent polls are showing that more Canadians trust Mark Carney to deal with Donald Trump rather than you. Why do you think your message is not cutting through and getting through to Canadians?
Canadians have a choice in the next election. Do they want to give the Liberals a fourth term in power after they drove up housing costs, food prices, and taxes, blocked resource projects, and made us more reliant on Trump's America? Or do they want Canada First Conservatives who will axe taxes, build homes, unleash production of our resources, and bring home paychecks, production, and sovereignty to our country?
Mr. Poilievre, what instructions have you given your caucus members and your candidates about wearing MAGA merchandise or using MAGA slogans?
Well, my instruction is that we should put Canada first. We want to put our country first, stand up for our country against both American aggression, but also against the destructive Liberal policies that have made us helpless and reliant on the U.S. I have also made it clear to my members of Parliament that we should favor bringing jobs back to Canada, not move them to the United States of America, as Mark Carney did when he had the chance.
Do you still think we're going to have a carbon tax election, considering Mark Carney says he's going to scrap the consumer one?
We are going to have a carbon tax election because Mark Carney has proposed to add another industrial carbon tax on top of the existing one. In days, Donald Trump could impose tariffs on Canadian steel. At the same time as Mark Carney says that he wants a new carbon tax on Canadian steel. By the way, it's not me that says his tax would apply to steel. It's him. In an interview he gave to CTV in Atlantic Canada a month ago, he claimed that taxing steel was a great idea because people, he says, don't use steel anymore. Well, this building would come crashing down without steel. Automobiles would be impossible to make without steel. Our civilization is, the bones of our civilization is steel. And Mark Carney wants to bring in a big industrial carbon tax on our steel workers at exactly the same time as Trump plans to tariff our steel. The combination of Trump's tariffs and carbon tax, Carney's tax, would destroy our steel sector and threaten our national security.
Cette taxe carbone dont vous parlez, la portion industrielle qui existe déjà, allez-vous la garder? C'est pas clair.
C'est pas clair qu'il veut. Ce qui est clair, il veut ajouter une deuxième taxe industrielle sur le carbone. C'est pas juste la première qui est déjà en place, c'est une deuxième taxe. Et aussi, il faut souligner qu'il a dit, si je peux me permettre de répondre à la question, il a dit que c'est une deuxième taxe qui va lever des milliards de dollars pour financer un système de crédit extrêmement compliqué. Et en fin de compte, ça va appliquer aussi au Québec, la taxe qu'il propose, parce que il a besoin de le faire de façon nationale. Il doit expliquer comment nos travailleurs vont compétitionner contre les Américains avec une deuxième taxe carbone sur nos industries à travers le Canada. En ce qui concerne notre programme pour les élections, vous allez le voir après que l'élection est déclenchée.
Last question.
What do you think about Doug?
Ask Mr. Harper about Mr. Carney saying that Mr. Harper offered him the post of finance minister.
Mr. Harper confirmed to me that Mark Carney has taken credit for things he has not done, and that if I could, he said that Mr. Carney he was astonished really at how Mark Carney took credit for things he never did. And at the same time, we know this is a pattern for Mr. Carney. He claimed that he helped Paul Martin balance the budget in 1998. Well, Mark Carney wasn't even in the country or working for the government at that time. He didn't join the government as a bureaucrat until 2004. So this is a consistent pattern of Mark Carney lying to the Canadian people. You know what I find interesting about Mark Carney? He doesn't want to take responsibility for the things he actually did, like advising Trudeau for the last 5 years. But he wants to take credit for things he did not do, like managing Canada's financial policies under the Harper government.
I just want to clarify, because Mr. Harper is not, okay.